Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and to my official review of the Discraft Scorch, a distance driver that is definitely in the running for best new disc of 2021, as in its short stint so far, it has already become a staple in many players' bags across the globe. What I love about the Scorch being at speed 11 is that it gives a disc that I feel Discraft was really missing in their lineup, that speed 11 controllable distance driver for big arms, but then also a maximum distance driver for those medium to slower arms that can't get those faster, those nukes or whatnot, up to speed. Now, in terms of feel, it does feel very similar in the hand to the Heat, just with a little bit wider rim, but despite it being pop-top like the Heat, it does have a fairly shallow feel to it. Also with the profile, something to note, when compared to a Heat, they both have under the rim these kind of slanted, opposite of what you see for most other drivers is like compared to the Onyx. The underneath of the rim is in the opposite direction. Now I've heard that a lot of understable discs tend to do that. I have looked at quite a few, and really besides the Heat and the Scorch, I have not found almost any others that have that same kind of unique roundness to the bottom of the rim. Now, earlier I mentioned that it's debatable on that glide of 6, because honestly, I think the Scorch is nearly off the charts. It could easily be a 7, if not a glide 8. It really does have that much glide. It loves to absolutely just stay in the air and float in the air, particularly the Z. The ESP, maybe glide 6 is kind of right on the money, but the Z, oh my goodness, it adds a whole extra level when it comes to the glide. Now, with the flight, as you're seeing, the Scorch for medium arms is the perfect straight to hyzer. It's always going to have that nice, predictable, strong hyzer finish. Bigger arms, it's going to be more hyzer flipping, holding really big turnovers. But us medium to slower arms are really going to be able to trust the Scorch on nearly every single line, is even when thrown on a decently steep anhyzer angle, as you can see, it's still going to fight its way out. Even in the wind, I am very impressed with the late stability of the Scorch, allowing it to flatten itself out and still hyzer. Not to mention, great for skip shots. I was really surprised at how many big skips that I do get out of the Scorch as it comes in on that hyzer angle. And also, because it's a speed 11, it is great in the woods. Workable in the mid-flight, so you can get it to hyzer flip up and hold a hyzer in the woods. You can get it to flip up, have a nice meandering turn, and then hyzer back, or just have it hit a straight dead line in the woods. And on those more open holes, you can absolutely unleash the Scorch, making great use of its glide and also taking advantage of its predictable finish. Even though the Scorch has been out for only a short amount of time, you can already find it in ESP, Z, and Jawbreaker. Now, I am putting the test flight up against the newest run of ESP just to kind of show if there are any differences. Now, when it comes to the test flight, I almost think it's still the most overstable of the group, even when thrown into a wind. This is about a 15-mile-an-hour headwind. Yes, you do get a little bit more turn than what you saw in the first shot, but it still has a lot of great late stability to fight its way out of it, and even when put on a steep anhyzer angle on the forehand, it still gets just a beautiful flex that you don't have to worry about it turning and burning. Again, I still think that is the most overstable of the run so far. Versus the regular Z, you get a little bit more turn in the mid-flight out of the box than the test flight, and it noticeably has a lot more glide to it. And it still has good late finish, but it's going to be noticeably more understable than the test flights. While the Jawbreaker, in my opinion, is the straightest Scorch out of the bag. It's something that's going to hold the line you put it on. If you put it on an anhyzer line, it's going to still fight its way out towards the end and have that predictable finish. And if you throw it flat, it's just going to ride dead straight and then have, again, a nice finish. Looking at all these different runs in plastic side by side, you're really going to get a sense for the differences. The new ESP that was just released at Ledgestone, I think at the moment is actually the closest to the test flights when they were first launched. As you can see, it's very straight and then has a really nice strong finish for us medium arms. This test flight has definitely been beat in as it's been thrown for about 3 or 4 months now. It still gets a little bit of that turn in the mid-flight, has a good strong finish, and you can see that the Z pretty much mirrors what a beat-in test flight is going to fly like. Out of the box, really nice turn in that mid, but still enough late stability, and the Jawbreaker is just really nice and straight. A little bit of turn in the mid, but it's going to have that nice predictable finish, at least until you hit a couple of trees with it. For me, there is no surprise why the Scorch has become such a popular disc so quickly, because it does so much for so many different players of just about any skill level. If you haven't taken a look at the Scorch, you are really missing out. Try and find one today. Now, as always, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you to my sponsors, Discraft Riverside Pro Shop, you in the community, thank you all so much. Until next time, keep banging them chains.